do a little housekeeping. This event will be on our YouTube page. Our YouTube page is AABH space SAC. So if anyone missed the event, they'll be able to recapture the event in about 2 weeks on our YouTube page. And again, it's AABH space SAC. Also too, if you look at your agenda, there is a Q&A period after the presentations. So at that time, we do have index cards and pencils. So get your questions ready, pass them to the end, and then we'll have our volunteers. Amen. The volunteers. Ashe for the volunteers. Ashe. And they'll pick your questions up at the end. Now, all your questions may not get answered, but we think it's quicker that way than people come to the mic and get along with it. Okay, we get right to the point, get the question, we get more questions answered that way. Okay, please turn your cell phones off, if you have any cell phones. And our bathrooms, and just in case they're right outside, there's one on each side, the left and right side of the bathrooms. Okay then, we are ready to get this started. We're not going to delay any. Oh, also too, I forgot to mention, this event is also co-sponsored by the Israel Family Farm. This is their third year. Okay, I want to be sure that I get everything here. Alrighty, so now I'm going to bring Bianca. Oh, Lord, libation. I got ahead of myself. We're going to have Minister, it's Minister, right? Alicia Teasley. Bring forward, and we're going to pour a libation.
Greetings, everyone. Greetings. Pouring libation is something our ancestors and our elders have done for countless years. Libation is basically the honoring of our ancestors. Those who have come before us, those who have given us inspiration to keep on and to keep fighting and to keep moving. Those ones who have passed on, whose stories that we remember, whose stories that give us extra energy at those times when we need it. And if we are all truthful with ourselves, we know that there's been some times in our life when we needed some help. There's been some times in our life when we wanted to call somebody and didn't nobody answer. And there's been some times in our life when we didn't want to tell nobody nothing, and all we had a chance to do was, you know how I go. So in those times, we can remember the stories of our ancestors. We think of those things and we study them, so that at those times, they will come and give us that extra energy, that extra push and say, you know what? You keep going. I've done this and I made it through. You can do it too. I myself have 9 children. And each and every time I go to give birth, I call upon my ancestors, those mothers who have come before me, those ones who have had children and have walked through the night trying to be able to make sure their child is safe. Those mothers who came through the middle passage, ripped away from their babies. Those mothers who had to remain strong in the face of unspeakable acts. So I call upon those mothers in my times of distress. I call upon those mothers in my times of pains or aches. And they let me know, baby, we've been through it. We've been through worse. You are okay. You are strong. You have our blood going through your veins. And then there's nothing I can't do. So we give respect and we give honor to our ancestors. We call their names and we remember them. These are the ones that's worthy of us to call. Not everybody has made it there. We all had that person in our life that may not have done what they were supposed to do this time around. We pray for them. What we need to understand is when we pour libation, we are giving the ultimate honor of someone who has lived their life worthy of us to call their names. So first, and she was a mother of 10. She was a poet. And this woman, I did not know her very well. She lived in Texas, I lived in Sacramento. But when I met her and got to know her, I said, this is why I belong in this family. And it gave me wings. Because prior to that, I was sad, I was broken. I was like, I don't belong here. I'm not like my mom or my dad or my sister. But when I realized that I come from my grandmother, I am a poet, I am a teacher, I felt I belonged. And so when she passed away 2 years ago, I called her name, Vivian Lovely. Ashe, come be with us. And Ashe is a word of power. It just gives yes, that more power to what you are saying, and agreement. Because when we come together and we agree, that's power. So what I want you to do is to think of the person or multiple people that gave you inspiration in your life. That when times were tough, that person was there for you. And you think of their names. And we are getting ready to call their names. Just call their names out. Ashe.
Grandma Ruby.
Ashe.
Bernadette Cromer.
Ashe. 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 Ashe.
Willie Redmond.
Ashe.
Willie Redmond.
Ashe.
Julia Masterman.
Ashe.
Willie Jackson.
Ashe.
Joanne Brown.
Ashe.
Nina Cooper.
Ashe.
Joe Johnson.
Ashe.
Elnora Robinson.
Ashe.
Etta Mae Hampton. Jones.
Ashe.
Harriet Tubman.
Ashe.
Jock Garvey.
Ashe.
LaGoya Price.
Ashe. They're coming, you guys. Call their names. Ashe.
Queen Mother Nzinga.
Ashe.
Julia Porter.
Ashe.
Harriet Butler.
Ashe.
Debbie Reynolds.
Ashe. 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 Ashe.
Cecile Fatima.
Ashe.
Lillian Murdoch.
Ashe.
Nola B. Scott.
Ashe.
Marcus Garvey.
Ashe. We have a room full. If you look to the left of you, you look to the right of you, whether there is someone that you can see or not see, the room is currently full. They are here, ready to bless this place, give us energy, give us the will, the power, the strength to move on. Give thanks, collective Ashe.
Preparing for this fantastic day. We have these two wonderful gentlemen that are here. One that's really well known in metaphysics, and that's Dr. Phil Valentine, as well as Dr. Afrika, Llalia Afrika, who's a pro and a genius when it comes to holistics. Before I introduce him, I wanted to give you a little bit of background about AABH. AABH started in 1996, and it was by in Sabrina Parker's front room, and her and Bobby teamed up. She chased Bobby to get off the food co-op because Bobby had looked different, and when Sabrina had seen her earlier in Icon, and she's seen her years later, Bobby was looking good, and she had lost weight.
And still is looking good.
She's still looking So we're chasing down together to form AABH. And I want to make sure you guys, Bobby, can you stand up, please, Bobby Waters, one more time? And okay, Sabrina, right back. I want you to make sure you go up to them and give them a lot of love, because if it was not for them, we would thank you, Sabrina and Bobby Waters. Thank you so much. Round of applause. Okay, and Dr. Afrika, he's been so supportive of us. And like I said, we began in 1996. I came on the scene in 1998. We had a seminar, and Dr. Afrika was at our seminar at Sac City. And I used to ask him a lot of different questions. And sometimes his face would frown, you know, that little frown like, lip motion kind of side. And I knew, okay, I'm asking far too many questions, but I was trying to flee from my addictions. You know, we have these addictions, and so I asked him, I said, I don't eat processed sugar anymore. I'm eating blah, blah, blah. And he says, that's sugar. Well, what about so-and-so? That's sugar. And then, what about so-and-so? He made that frown. You know that frown that you made. You know that frown that you made. Anyway, but guess what? He has taught us, people in the Sacramento area and throughout the world, he has been such a wonderful teacher and a wonderful influence, and I know he's made a difference in your life as well as many other people's lives. We love him so much, and he was very, very supportive of AABH. And so I just want to thank you so much for always being there, answering our questions, and just loving us all the time. Very supportive. So thank you very much. Also, if you guys haven't had a chance, make sure that you look at the YouTubes that he has. And there's one particular YouTube in particular, it's Dr. Afrika and the Bees. So I won't say too much more about that, but anyway, it's a really interesting YouTube as well as many others. So Dr. Afrika, Llalia Afrika, as a holistic practitioner who has been in the health profession for over 45 years and has practiced all across the world. Dr. Afrika has taught and studied on continents such as Africa, Europe, and of course, America. His background includes working as a social worker, psychotherapist, a group facilitator, community organizer, nurse, a naturopath, and a naturopath. Dr. Afrika has a doctorate in naturopathy and is a certified addictionologist, certified acupuncturist, massage therapist, medical astrology, and a licensed traditional healer in Ghana, Togo, and Benin. A lot, huh? Wow. Dr. Afrika lectures and teaches certification classes with his wife, Llalia Stevenson. Our classes are a wide variety. I'm almost through.
I also have a degree in numerology. I survived Negroes. Yes, I do teach classes with Dr. Llalia Stevenson, happens to be my wife, because that's what she told me. You want me to talk louder? Do what to the mic? Raise it up. Oh my gosh. Am I all right now? Yeah. I went to husband school, bumped twice. You don't want to know the details. Good morning. It's a pleasure being here. Sacramento, yeah. You know, after you've been to a few places and countries and there's only about 7 faces actually. So I see you all the time when I go. in the world. Yes, I do teach classes with Dr. Stevenson. I teach midwifery and acupuncture and all those kind of holistic modalities in an African-centered way. The problem with my science is mostly language. We just shift language a lot in medicine, and that kind of gets people confused. In other words, we BS people. That's what we do. You can't make money off an intelligent person. If you get someone stupid enough, they'll smoke cigarettes, drink alcohol, and masturbate every Thursday to Ray Charles. That's how it goes. Stupid pays, intelligence doesn't. I think I'll just talk about some major things that go on in our health, in the world actually. The major challenge seems to be diabetes mellitus, and those diseases that are associated with diabetes mellitus, primarily high blood pressure, primarily premature baldness, primarily arthritis, rheumatism, cataracts, glaucoma, short-term memory, attention deficit, dry vaginas. Of course, it denatures the sperm, it causes hyperactivity, damage to the nervous system, autism, and all that sort of thing. What we suffer from primarily is food illiteracy, and we need to have a better understanding of food. And usually, well, maybe I better back up a little bit because I'm talking, I'm using these words, but I don't mean what you think I mean. I'm talking to you in a black program. You can't access black intelligence with a white program. You use it just like a tree grows from the root. Then it cascades up to the, what you call the brain stem, where there are 12 dots on it, melanin reticulum formations. And from there, it cascades into the corpus callosum, the middle brain, which is larger in black women than any women in the world. And from there, the thought is distributed to the left and right hemisphere, which is based on the left and right hemisphere theory. So the thought starts at the root. It doesn't start with some fairy tale called Oedipus and id and ego and all that sort of stuff. Those are based on characters in a fairy tale. It has nothing to do with your brain whatsoever. The part of your brain you use the most, of course, will grow the largest. Like if I lift weights with just my right arm will get big. So the brain has physically changed in 1980. It has physically changed. And most of us approaching the brain like it was in 1950 and 1960. That is an old brain. That is not how the brain functions today. It has physically changed. And that's what causes a lot of problems with adults with their analog minds talking to a digital child. It's not going to work. The psychological concept that you're using is a fairy tale. We have two major systems in the brain which we call wiring or neural nets in neurology. You have the emotional brain and you have what you call a logical brain. The emotional brain is sort of like a map of Los Angeles that you're using to access directions in Sacramento. So you're using your intellectual brain to understand the emotional brain. The emotional brain's knowledge is achieved with feelings. You go from feeling to feeling. Logical brain goes from one logical thought to another logical thought. For example, if someone is talking to you and you say, that don't make sense to me, that's crazy. No, it's not. It's emotional. If you don't understand something, that I don't understand why they said that. No, because what they said was emotional. To get to the right answer, you have to give it the right label. So a lot of times when you're talking or listening to somebody, you say, that's confusing, I don't know why they did that, that's crazy. No, it's not crazy, it's emotional. Label it correctly. So you have this emotional wiring system in your brain. And that's access through colors, through touch, through taste, through sound. That's how you access information before you were born in the fluid of amniotic fluid. You're in this fluid, and this fluid has what you call electrolytes in it. Electricity fires off. It's like lightning, a lightning storm that the child is seeing. So when the mother's angry, you see yellow and orange and red firing off. When the mother's happy, you see blue, indigo, and violet. These are the colors of electrolytes, which we call elements, which are on something called a periodic table. We classify everything electrically. We are men. We don't use magnetism. Magnetism is a greater source of energy. Your brain is 80% magnetism, but we only study 20% of your brain called neurons. The rest of your brain, we just don't give a damn. The science is male-dominated, chauvinistic. If you want to study science, you have to study men. If you want to study history, you have to study men. If you want to study religion, you have to study men. We don't care about the women. We come out of Greek philosophy and science. So 20% of your brain we know, that's all we're talking about. The female part of your brain called glial cells, G-I-L-A, we don't know. We don't talk about it because we don't give a damn. This is Greek science. I don't want to upset anyone. I'm just telling you how it is. It's chauvinistic. So, the emotional brain starts developing wiring, which we would call a highway. So you have to have a highway developed so you can achieve happiness. So you build a highway. That's why a child wants to hear the same story 20 to 50 times. And you say, why do you want to hear this? I want to hear it again. Because they're building the wiring to achieve a wiring, a highway for anger, highway for happiness, highway for joy. And once they finish that wiring, then they'll move on to the next story. That's why the child wants to hear the story 100 times, because they're building this highway. So when they get ready to access happiness, the highway is built and they can do it. So the child can see anger, is what I'm saying, in the amniotic fluid. The child drinks the fluid so the child can taste anger. And electricity gives off a sound so the child can hear anger. I don't think you get what I'm saying. I'm teaching you how they attach you to California. California has a fruit taste. California has a flower smell. California has colors, a flag. California has an anthem. They're attaching that to all your sensors, because you only have one sense, your brain. Your ears do not know what they're hearing. You hear with your brain, you taste with your brain, you touch with your brain feels pain. You cannot feel pain in your foot. The brain sends that information there. That's what we call operation when they give you drugs and you can't feel anything. You follow me, you can sit there like white people. Lord, save me from Negroes. I'm trying to say that to the child, happiness is holistic. To the child, anger is holistic. And that's why they want to hear these stories over and over again to make this wiring connection. That's all I'm saying. And so we always use that to attach you to anything. We're going to use a color. We're going to use a song. That's what McDonald's does. That's what California does. They do this thing to you all the time because you don't know. This is called fixed behavior. You cannot get out of this. This is your program as a human being. Human beings only have two things that they can do: a ritual or ceremony. That's it. The Constitution of the United States is a book of rituals. If a person is studying law, they're studying rituals. All you have as a human being is rituals and ceremonies. That's it. And so the ritual is called emotional, how this wiring is. If you talk to somebody and say, why are you getting upset over this? Why? You follow me? Because that wiring is different. Happiness got connected to anger. The wiring is totally different now. And that can be very confusing because we don't study emotions. And that's how you manipulate it in the world, emotionally. We do not fight wars over logic. We fight over emotions. Patriotism. You mess with my country. You see? Everything is done emotionally to you, and the thing you don't understand is emotional because we don't want you to understand it. Why should we give you the keys to open the door? You sit around and say, oh, white people, there's racism. No, racism is emotion. You cannot solve emotion with logic. You cannot sit down and talk to a woman and say, I love you, see? This is why I want you 12 flowers. This is why I buy expensive condoms, because I love you. That's logic. You say, I ain't feeling that. I'm not feeling that. Feelings talk to feelings. Okay, let me go back. The culture gives you rituals and ceremonies. The culture gives you that, and from that you get emotions. Your reaction to your emotions is called a feeling. A feeling that lasts a long time is called a mood. You still with me?
Yes.
That's why you can't get up and boogie when you hear Chinese music, because you're not attached to that culture. The culture gave the emotions, the emotion gave the feelings, and therefore you get to dance to that music, sound like you drop some forks on the floor. So what I'm trying to get to is that I'm saying these words, but I'm not coming from that program. I'm trying to access your intelligence, and I can't use a white program. White racism is an emotional thing. You cannot solve it with logic. It's wrong to segregate. It's wrong to... No, it's emotional. Beliefs are emotional. It's the belief of white supremacy. Beliefs are emotional. And you're trying to solve it with logic. Logic talks to logic, emotions talk to emotions. You're using the wrong program. That's what I'm trying to say. All over the world, people are eating peanut butter on their pig feet. What's wrong with them? Which is a psychological construct in itself. And we're trying to run away from our problems, so we eat pig feet. We're trying to fly away from our problems, so we eat chicken wings. This is how college is best. So, what I'm trying to say is we have food illiteracy. A plant has a root. Your brain has a root. We call it the brain stem. Then the plant has a branches, a bark, so leaves. But what we're looking at is what gives birth to another plant, fruition. So whatever does that is called a fruit. Unsweet fruits ripen early. Sweet fruits ripen late. A partially green barley is ripe. A partially green bean is ripe. Non-sweet fruits ripen early. Sweet fruits ripen late. So what I'm saying is beans are fruit, rice is fruit, corn is fruit, okra is fruit. I'm just naming some fruit. So our concept of what a fruit is a banana or apple. No. That's a sweet fruit. They ripen late. By understanding nature, you understand your nature, so you know thyself. That's why George Washington Carver, who was a hybridizer, who saved the South, he hybridized plants naturally, not synthetically. There's nothing wrong with hybridization. It's a plant adjusting to the soil. You plant okra in the mountains of Kenya, the volcanic mountains of Kenya, that dirt there, the okra will grow 10 to 12 feet tall. Nature has hybridized okra, adjusted it to the soil. There's nothing wrong with that. We're just looking at nature and know hybridization is wrong. Oh, a dictatorship is wrong. No. It's not wrong with a dictatorship if the dictators follow the mind. You see what I'm talking about? There's nothing wrong with football if it's following the mind. It wouldn't be the referee. I'm just telling you the truth. You would not be a referee at all if we were following the mind. Game, look at east when we should look west. That's what Chancellor William told me. That's what all these people I used to lecture with who are gone. Makes it kind of lonely up here sometimes. And Amos Wilson was gone, Henry Clark's gone, you know. All the people I started with. It's kind of... Anyway, I don't want to digress. They start crying. It's very embarrassing because I'm a man. I'm going on. So what I'm saying is football is a game of stealing land. That's why Americans like it. I had 50 yards, and you're going to steal it from me by lying and deceit. You're going to pretend the player is going that way when it's actually going that way. It's deceit and deception. That's military logic. It has nothing to do with guns. It's military logic, deceit and deception. So I got to steal your 50 acres. Stealing the land, or you call it discovering America. Yeah, and then I'm gonna take my squirm and put it between your two legs, the goalposts. So I'm just saying now, I want you to start looking west with me, and look at east with me when I'm talking. We got out of that psychological construct of the Europeans. Now we're going into my fantasy world called science. The somatic mutation theory, the germ theory, which is the basis for the vaccinations that you take. It's based on what we call the germ theory, written in every science book in the world as such. The germ theory is the basis of the contagious disease theory, which is the basis of somatic mutation theory. And I have a theory of evolution, and I have a theory of speed of light, and I have a theory of gravity. I haven't talked anything about science yet. I'm into the make-believe world of the European theory. How do you understand something real with a fantasy in your head? So keep in mind, when we're talking science, we're just talking theory. Some stuff that is made up in a laboratory by some scientists. Just like a sick man Freud. He's on cocaine, as you know, and he come up with this whole psychoanalytical theory. While he's snorting cocaine and masturbating, he wanted to rape his babysitter. Interesting character altogether. I lived in that world as a psychotherapist, so I had to know all this stuff, you know, all of this stuff, this thought theory and all this kind of stuff I had to learn. I was in the military as a psychotherapist, trying to get guys back on the right track. You know, you just killed 20 people, women and children, and you come into me because I'm your therapist. I said, don't worry about it. You just had a bad day. You'll work through it. It's not a problem. And I talk to them very nicely. They go back out and kill some women and children. Because my job was to keep them killing women and children and all that stuff. When I didn't get into the guys, I had to keep raping. Not me, other people. That's a whole other work I had to do. But I had to pay my mortgage, so you can't blame me. So, we're talking about theories. And I'm saying, keep in mind that Mahat is separating the real from the unreal. That's African culture. You have to know the real from the unreal. So we're talking about food illiteracy. You know what I'm saying? The plant has a root, stem, barks, and it's always had something to give it fruition, birth to another plant, a seed of some sort. Okra is a fruit, a seed of some sort. A bean, if you plant it, you get another plant. So we know beans are fruit. Some people heard of mug beans and all. You know what I'm telling you. I'm just saying we got to classify this thing correctly to get the correct solution. Now, if I take the sugar out of the sugar cane, I've isolated a substance. So an isolated substance is by definition a drug. If I take the cocaine out of the cocoa leaf, I have a drug. Correct? Yes. If I take the sugar out of the sugar cane grass, I have a drug. If I take the starch out of the wheat berry, I have a drug. Because a drug is an isolated, concentrated substance. If I take the oil out of the corn, I have a drug. As long as the oil stays in the corn, no problem. As long as the sugar stays in the sugar cane, you can't be a diabetic. No problem. As long as the heroin stays in the poppy seed, you can't be a heroin addict. No. Everyone follow me? I know you got some of your families on something. Don't look at me like what are you talking about? If I take some heat and strike the match and burns a leaf, all of the water goes and I've concentrated the oil and the smoke carries the oil droplets. I have a drug. I've just defined for you someone smoking marijuana. Once they put a match to it and burnt it, they have created a drug. Be clear. Have they made a tea out of it and put it in a salad? I can't say nothing. But if they strike a match to it, it's no longer a marijuana plant. It is now a drug. you with me here? Don't get deceived by these people telling you this food. If I take alcohol, which you call beer, something, let it get flat, no, the alcohol dissipates, gets flat. Now I'm creating a species of alcohol. It's another, still an alcohol family because it came from alcohol. So I got ammonia, I got vinegar, I have acetic acid. Vinegar is a drug by definition. That's what I'm telling you. You can't trust these people to tell you all this wonderful stuff. That's like trusting Goldman Sachs. Or Toyota with the airbags, you know what I'm talking, explode. Come on. These people used to sell slaves. What kind of morality do you think they had? I have nothing against these people. I have no problem with them whatsoever, as long as no rope is in their hand. As long as they don't have white sheets on their line. My boss was a member of the Klan when I was in the military. Don't go off. So he said, I can't talk to you anymore this way because I got to go to a Klan meeting and you give me the wrong vibration. So, I had a good week. Yeah, he was a nice Klan. I mean, he always told me when he was to have a meeting, he warned me and said, look, don't be talking to me all friendly. I had a roommate, he was a Kentucky, one of them Kentucky backwoods kind of people. You know, those people have a sister who happened to be there. Girlfriend happens to be, you know what I'm talking about. He would tell me, I said, man, we got to get along together. We're in this room, there's a war going on. And he said, I can get along with you all right, because you know you're a nigger, right? I said, yeah. I was trained not to like niggers. I said, yeah. He said, I don't have nothing against you now, but you're a nigger. White people and black people shouldn't go to church together because it confuses God. I have to deal with this guy. We're in a war, so you know. I didn't mean to digress. I didn't mean to go on that sidebar. I go in these bars and get drunk. I'm just on the sidebar. Okay. So we have an isolated, concentrated substance, and that's the problem. So what I'm saying is if you eat the sugar, the body says, I don't know anything about this, but I do know sugar cane. So the body's going to pull the minerals from your teeth and your joints and the bone to make the sugar back in the sugar cane. It's going to pull the moisture out of your joints, arthritis, your muscle rheumatism, your scalp, premature baldness, your skin, you have to use more lotion. It's pulling the moisture out of your tissue, nervous tissue, bone tissue, to put it back into the sugar. What I'm saying is, if you have a raisin, the body says, I don't know about this, I only know grapes. So the body's going to put the water back into the raisin, turn it into a grape before it metabolize it. That's what the body does. So where's it getting the water from? Your nerves, your muscles, your bone, your scalp, your eyes, cataract, glaucoma. You're still with me here. Because you ate a concentrate. That's the problem. It's like if you're smoking, it's pulling the moisture out of your gums so you can have twice as much cavity just from smoking. Because of trying to turn it back into a form that God made it, not into a form that man made it. You see, it wants to be holy. The body wants to be holy. And you gave something partial that says, I got to make it holy because I'm holy. That's the problem with the whole thing. We have food illiteracy and we're eating things that are not food. And then we blame the food. And the food has not done anything to you. You have done something to the food. If you hurt the food's going to hurt you. That's what we call it reciprocity in African culture. Yeah. You don't pay for this one. That's what we say. Everything is bipolar, we call it today. We call it the male and female principle, which is in my book. I go through all that stuff, science in the books. What I'm saying is you are a merger of your mother and father. So by definition, you're bipolar. What I'm saying is if I see a lady and I just talk to the mother part of her and not the father part of her, I'm only loving half of her. speak at least.
You're right.
So with this partial food that we're eating causes a whole problem. Because every system is going to favor this one. Because you got a family, what you call a digestive system, nervous system, it's a family, they're all trying to work this thing out together. So the digestive system said, can you help me out? Nervous system. The nervous system, can you help me? Everybody's trying to help each other out, so they robbing Peter and robbing Paul. Because nobody gets paid when you bother nature. Nobody. Now, we know that you should be breastfed between 3 to 5 years. That's a given. But nowadays, the titties are sex organ, you know, tattoos and rings and stuff. If I'm gonna write something on my body, there's something I can use, you know, look at my genital, that's a formula, you know. They can use. If you didn't hang all these tattoos, you need a damn dictionary to talk to them. I don't know what all this stuff means. I'm scared. So I'm just saying, but normally in history it was 3 to 5 years, and when the baby is sucking the breast, his tongue goes up to the top, which we call the palatine process. And that flattens the tongue, which makes the jawbone rounder. And when that doesn't happen, you get crowding back here, and you call it wisdom teeth. I know a lot of fools with a lot of wisdom teeth. I don't believe that wisdom tooth theory at all. Nonetheless, we're paying for these things, but because we don't know this, it's all like, I don't know what's going on. You gotta know what's going on. Because you can only breathe out and breathe in. There's only 2 things your body's gonna do. Like I said, wait, better do way to live. I'm stopping. You're dead. You can only breathe out and breathe in. That's it. It's either food or it's not a food. That's it. It's either energy that's usable or energy that's not usable. Things that are not usable, we change the name. Because in science, we know there's no such thing as a poison. It's just something out of the range your body can use it. If I give you too much water, I can drown you. It's out of your range, so that water becomes a poison. It's just out of the range. It's not a poison, it's just out of the range your body can deal with. That's all. So water can be called a poison by definition. So we get all these words for something out of the range your body can use it. We'll say free radical. We'll say toxin. We say poison. That's just not out of the range, because there's no such thing as a poison. It's just something out of the range your body can use it. That's it. So don't get involved in all this social science, because some of y'all have poisonous relationships. You know, it's a toxic relationship. It's out of the range. But some people just have a limited supply of love that they can give you. And they give you that limited supply, and you want more, they look at you like, what's wrong with you? I said, I love you last year. It's out of the range. You gotta have a certain range, and that's what's given to you before you were born in the amniotic fluid. I'm back to that again. That's when you develop the emotional vocabulary. Because you have to have the emotional vocabulary, to have the emotional budget, to have the emotional expense account. Some Negroes are too expensive for you emotionally to talk to. Say, John likes my emotional expense account. You talk to these people, they drain your energy. You know what I'm saying? That was too emotionally expensive for you. Say, look, my emotional budget this week. I only talk to one Negro a week. So what I'm saying, this stuff was given to you before you were born. Because you can't have love without anger. You say, you gotta get rid of your anger. No, you just gotta use your anger properly. Don't get rid of it. God gave you anger. You're just not using your anger. You can be so angry, I'm gonna clean up my room. There's nothing wrong with anger. There's nothing wrong with hate. You're just not using it properly. That's all. You can be in love with somebody and be angry with them, and you know it. Because anger goes with love. God gave you anger. You just got to use it correctly. But we in this chauvinistic science, they teach you get rid of this, get rid of that, get rid of this. No, you can't get rid of that. God gave you that. You just got to use it properly. Don't think that people get changes until you get them some logic. Say, don't put that grease on that, and don't put that sugar on. No, that logic ain't gonna solve this Negro's problem. you call preaching. Preaching gets you all emotional, red up, and say, I need somebody with my blood cap. Leroy, another subject. So, what I'm saying is you got to know which one to use. And when you're dealing with someone emotionally, you have to know which one to use. And so I have how to evaluate the personality in my holistic self-diagnosis, how to evaluate the personality so you can get the information in. Got to know what that thinking style is, learning type, learning style, all of that stuff you got to know. You got to know how they were born. I gave you various mental deficiencies, emotional diseases caused by C-section, by the drugs they did, perineum, by being born in a hospital. Different across all countries, Australia, Japan. If you birth a child in a hospital, that's going to be a problem permanently. You see, because the birthing process itself, that's a bill collector. That's how my emotional was. So, what I'm saying, all of these things contribute to the person's personality. You can't change the personality. You can't change the ISIS into a cancer. You have to deal with the person where they are. And so I have a personality evaluation and a holistic self-diagnosis to help you walk through this thing. Because I will not be alive forever. Trust me. You don't get out of life alive. Only way you get out of this thing is by dying. You know I'm telling you the truth. So I wrote down all this stuff in my profession, and someone in my profession said they're healing, and I use something in that book, walk away. I use all systems. The lab stuff, I know how to do all this lab tests and all this fancy stuff you think we're doing in the lab. We're making it really good. I tell you. But no, truthfully, I just want you to walk away so you can be empowered to take care of yourself. That's why I'm talking. I want you to take care of yourself. Stop listening to people like me. That's true. Stop listening to us. You got to start listening to yourself. Take care of yourself. Because I ain't all that well put together. I come from a ghetto. You know, a broken home. You know what I'm talking about. Father, player, another player. He was adventurous. My mother raised 7 children and all that stuff. My father didn't pay his child support. My mother had him put locked up. Anyway, he had all that. So I tried to be his friend when I got older. I called him. He started crying. He said, I'm ashamed of myself. I said, I can't go back there. I can only deal with you how you are right now. So I'm just saying I come from all of that, so I know I don't have it all together. It's just that people sitting in the audience saying, I'm the one's all right, just those other Negroes messed up. So other ones are messed up. I'm telling you, you're one of the other ones. People do that all the time and say, oh, people get in an accident, that guy. No, today, you're the other guy. The other people get in an accident, yeah, well, today, you're the other guy. That's what I'm trying to say. You just as messed up as the rest of us. Don't be thinking Michael Jackson the only one messed up. Ooh. Y'all in it. The thing is just to accept where you are so you know where you have to go. That's all. There's something wrong with being messed up, but just as long as you acknowledge it, then you can deal with it. But a lot of us just sit around and say, ain't me, it's the other ones. No, it's you. I stumbled through life because when you come from a broken home, you got this your way, one year I'm a Jew, next year I'm a Jehovah's Witness, you know what I'm saying, Hasalama Begum and all that. I mean, I've been to Mecca and all that stuff. I've been to that tower and the Watchtower magazine I used to sell. That's right, you're not supposed to sell it. I just fumbled through all of that kind of stuff, just like your ancestors did. 1 year you're owned by a Muslim slave owner, which is North Africa and East Africa. I don't know if you know the Muslims in the slave trade for 2,000 years before the white people got them. Yeah. 1 year you owned by them, then he tell you to a Jew, shalom. Next thing you do, you end up with a Christian. You're spiritually confused. You can't be equal, shalom, my son. So we went to all those different slave masters. It added to that was the Pacific slave trade, which you don't get into. You just talk about transatlantic. I'm talking about going from Celebes, Malabar, where East Indians had slave plantations. Then in China, they sell slaves out of Canton. That's why you find black people in China, black people in East India. That part of the slave trade. But we just studied the Atlantic one, and we start with white people with suits on. But I start with white people in the cage. Hello? They go to our place and they study us, but we don't study them. We don't even know anything about the cave civilizations. I think that's in that kid we call it Spore, whatever it was. The guy asked me those questions. So I'm saying, how can you get a handle on this situation when you only study in the park? Like you get on suits. I'm talking about when they didn't. And they crawled around and they grunt their way out of the damn caves. Really, you know what I'm talking about. That gives you a better handle on what's going on. Then you can focus your lens better and know how to approach your path to freedom. But we don't do that. We have a partial understanding of plants and we have a partial understanding of history. Therefore, we have a partial understanding of ourselves. That's why we're only on one part of the woman, just her mother. Because we're partial. Partial is called analytical thinking, fragmented thinking. We have all of these partials, and we're trying to be whole again. We're trying to capture that sort of thing. Which made me digress again. I used to, not there. He wrote a book called Destruction of Black Civilization, which is about 10 or 20 volumes. He was only able to publish one. He had to mortgage his house to do that. So he was in a nursing home. And I'm on my way to help somebody. You know how you're trying to help black people. You know how you do that stuff. So I was supposed to go by and see Chancellor. Am I supposed to stop at the radio? I can stop at any time. I'm a husband. I know when to stop.
Keep going. We want you to
I don't mind stopping now. I'm not getting wrong. Okay. I won't get in trouble. So I'm on my way to help some person, and Chancellor, I was supposed to go by and see Chancellor. And he got to talking about, do you think they will remember me? That's all he would say. It really hurt my heart. Yeah. You know, it just, do you think they will remember me? Chancellor Williams. I was saying, man, ooh. And when I was taking care of Dr. Henry Clark, he was on dialysis, gone black from sugar and all that stuff. I'm holding his hand, taking his pulse and all that stuff. And he's saying, like, I knew I was going to live this long, I would have taken better care of us. Yeah. That's what he told me. I said, Henry, I don't ever hurt for a broken heart. Because his daughter tried to declare senile and take folks from him in his house and everything. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. Speak up. Yeah, well, sometimes you can't speak up either, you know what I mean? Some things are just where they are. So, we're talking about just understanding this whole concept and understanding the realness of the situation. When you have a partial substance, it is addictive. That's what I'm talking about. We are addicted to food. We are addicted to white people. We are addicted. We want their grammar and diplomas. We're addicted to them. If we go to sleep, we visualize being successful in a white world. You understand? We get this degree, get a job. Our whole success is based on them. That's scary. So we're addicted to the food. We're addicted to the white culture. The standard of beauty. You know what I'm talking about, the weaves and the wigs. You know what I'm talking about. The brothers cutting off their kinky hair in a barber shop with their own machine of kink. I call them hate myself shops. You know. That's because we come to this partial thing. We partially raise our children. Because we're raising our children to be a better slave. Because they taught us how to raise our children. They taught us how to have sex, because we rape each other. We don't say a prayer before we have sex. It's not spiritual about sex, even though God made it so it has to be spiritual. We're partially having sex. So now and then some brothers sit down and say, I need Jesus. No, but I'm not talking about it's a partial kind of, we're partial people. What makes us a whole people is our culture. If you can't attach culture to it, you don't understand what it is. You have to to be able to attach culture to food, like the people, Chinese food, Italian food. You understand? They attach culture to food. That's Mexican dancing. That's Mexican music. Culture is attached to everything around us, but we don't do that. That's Italian food. So we're partial, and we're dealing with the partials that we are, the best we know how. Everybody is viable when you're trying to move a military, when you're trying to capture something. When I was an organizer for the military and all that stuff, I used to do secretly. We learned to use everyone, just as the Europeans use everyone. They make money off the crackheads, telling you the truth.
Yeah.
Yes, they do. They make the money off the guys in jail. Everybody's a source of capital to them. But we throw away people. I ain't gonna talk to him. He's not cultural. I'm gonna talk to that Negro. Negro's got money. That's Oprah. You want to move an organization, you gotta get some Negroes. The Negroes got money. These cultural people, they go around begging and stuff. You know, I'm trying to get to Africa. I'm gonna do a GoFundMe page. Africa is a person sitting to you, and that's the closest you ever get to Africa. It's a person sitting to you. But we got this concept, you want to see some Jesus statues that light up at night, go to Ghana. I'm just telling you how it is. Because they messed up that first before they brought us over here second. I don't want to go there. No, I don't want to. I'm going to stay on this. I'm going to stay on the top. So we're trying to get away from this partial food. We have to first deal with the fact that we are addicted. We're addicted to land housewives. Yeah, we are. We're addicted to this stuff. These reality shows, Jerry Springer ass, whatever the show is. We're addicted to this stuff. And we got to get rid of our addiction. There are supplements to get rid of addiction physiologically now. We can use glutamine, which is part of amino acid that helps. We can use chickweed. We can use kudzu, which is good for alcoholism. That's a thing you find growing all on the highways. I find all over the place. Kudzu, they brought that over to Japan to feed the slaves. Your ancestors. So we use kudzu, we can use chickweed, we can use glutamine, we can use vanadium. That will shut down the physiological addiction. And what's left is the emotional addiction. That's going to be a bit of a problem. Because you have to have a certain amount of skills to do that. If you don't know how to fix an airplane, don't get upset when you see one broke. You know, why get upset? You don't know how to fix an airplane. You don't know how to fix a Negro. Don't get upset when you see one all messed up. I don't get upset. I was a psychotherapist on Negroes require too much labor, I'm telling you that. I see somebody, I said, this is part of schizophrenia, that's going to take me about 6 months. This is somebody sucks their thumb, it takes me about 3 months to stop a kid from sucking their thumb. When I was working, but I don't do that work no more. I see the Negro crazy, I say, as long as he's certified, So we can physiologically get rid of the addiction, but the rest is emotional, because we're emotionally attached to food, and we're emotionally attached to bad relationships. Some people go from one bad relationship to another. You get warned and say, why are you doing that? You know that person no good for you, but they're addicted to it. So you have to deal with the addiction. And what shuts down addiction is facts. There's nothing wrong with fat in the right place. Fat's in the wrong place, that's when it's a problem. So the fats that men like women about, the behind, the breast, that's fat is there to store energy for breastfeeding, because breastfeeding requires more energy than pregnancy. The last 3 months, so which we call trimester, the energy stored in the lady's thighs and buttocks for the breastfeeding. So the fat's okay, and the fat's also release a hormone called leptin, coming from the word lipid, which means fat. And leptin means you're satisfied, you're happy, you're nourished. So that fat can release that for them, you see. But it also has a shut-off point. the body says, it's like a person that works in the schools, and you walk in and you hear that noise in kindergarten and stuff, and you say, dang, how can a teacher work in this noise? The teacher said, what noise? That's what I'm talking about. At a certain point, the body says, well, I ain't gonna pay no attention to it. You're just firing off too much. Because there's a limit. There's a limit. Outside in the rain, the body says, the hell with it. So I'm saying that the fat is there for a purpose, even though you are taught that fat is wrong. Fat brought you here. 55% of breast milk is fat, hard at room temperature. Without fat, you would not be here. What you see as the brain is the fat around the brain. You have never seen the nerves in the brain. You just see a picture of fat around the nerves. That's the fat. That fat is broken down in ketones, and ketones feed the brain. Because fat is the source of energy. But we were taught something about fats that's totally wrong because it's profitable. We're always taught things that's going to result in some economic benefit. And keep in mind that we have been educated about physiology that's totally wrong. People think they got a vocal cord. There's no vocal cord, no string like in no guitar in your damn throat. You don't have no vocal cord. You have two pieces of flat skin that stretch like you have a balloon, and that alters the sound. The only thing that's fully developed is your ear when you're born. So sound is the source of things here. You have to know the sound. Everything has a sound to it. And some people classify sound electrola. You call it pH, which is a classification of sound. So once you classify sound, you have to classify color, because it's holistic. You're just using one part of the language, and you're speaking the whole language. We use a partial understanding of everything. And we're trying to put these holistic ingredients together so we can be together once again. There is nothing wrong with our children. They are what they are. They are a product of you and the environment they're in. There's nothing wrong with them. They're just expressing their wrongness in this environment. That's all. But we were taught that they're wrong because we were taught that they had hell in them because they were born in sin, so we had to beat the hell out of them. It's totally, yeah. Well, see, in my area, I'm a pediatrician, but I deal with adults because that happened back in 19, whatever. Now I talk to adults, whatever. So, but I originally was just a baby doctor, and when I taught school, it was kindergarten, milk and cookies kind of thing. So I'm trying to say that when you say a child to a child, stop sucking your thumb, and the child's only 2 years old, they were sucking that thumb before they were born, that's almost a year. I tell you, stop sucking your thumb. They said, well, only 2. I was sucking their thumb for a year before I met your ass. You asked them to break a lifetime habit. And you get all upset with them. You stop there. They said, well, I told you eat your food. They put it in their mouth and they miss. I said, what's wrong with you? The food's good. Why are you acting like that? Because last night, this finger grew bigger. And this got bigger. And I missed the whole angle. Every morning they got to adjust a whole new body because it doesn't grow in increments. Sometimes the hand grows overnight bigger. Sometimes the lip grows, sometimes the jaw grows. And they get adjusted to this whole situation. And sometimes they just get frustrated. Then you come out with all this stuff talking to the, put on those two, put on that, see that one couple over there, and then said, you pointing at 2 people saying 1. That's numerosity, has nothing to do with numbers. You're very confusing to talk to when you're adults. You are. We're going to do that in 15 minutes. We tell time. I don't even know what a clock looks like. This thing was ready in 15 minutes. They don't know about that stuff. You say, we're going to do this now, or after now, or before now, because they only know now. You know what I'm saying? They can't tell time. Oh my gosh. I'm glad I was a child when I was a child. Because I don't want to be a child now. That's all I have to say. I was breastfed. And if I see a titty, I'm allowed to take a drink. I ain't gonna get sexy or horny or none of this. So I'm gonna say, well, maybe time for a meeting here. That's so funny, I didn't even get that. I think I've talked long enough, really. You sit in the Lord, it's like, keep talking, keep talking. I'm not a talkative person. I'm a quiet person in my life. I don't ask my wife. I mind my business. That's the most important thing a black person to wake up in the morning and mind your business. That's what you need to do. Before you go to sleep at night, say, I mind my business. Everybody else is business. She can do that. You do that. Who be thinking everybody else is business with your own? You know, mind your business. Really? Yeah. I talk.
Okay, you want
I
to do
want to
questions?
stop talking.
You want to do Q&A, Doctor?
Oh, yeah, I can do it.
Can you give us about 5 minutes to collect your questions?
Oh, yeah.
Can you just kill some time? A few more minutes? A few more minutes? Okay, we're going to do Q&A because there's people here who got their questions. So just pull your questions over to the side, and then we're going to pull the... Yeah, just pass it down on the end. Where's the volunteers at? Right here, okay, yeah, so get them. Go ahead, Doctor, give us about 5 minutes. Any cards here? Can't hear you.
She's trying to ask me to answer a question. I say, she's in charge. I don't want to get any control. It wasn't
lunch and be a little longer for lunch, but I think we should have enough time. Okay? You're fine. All righty, I'm on.
I see you have some questions here. What is good for decreasing belly fat?
What? Can you?
What is good for decreasing belly fat?
Belly fat?
Yeah. What?
What's good for increasing belly fat? Decreasing belly fat. Yeah, decreasing. The answer, what is good for decreasing belly fat?
Oh, okay.
That's the other half.
Yeah. I think everyone's heard the question. Belly fat is mostly from a stress hormone reaction called cortisol. So the person's under stress. Cortisol causes accumulation of that fat around the stomach, I guess what they're talking about, which is not the stomach, it's the abdomen. The stomach's right behind your left nipple. So they're not talking about the stomach at all, anatomically. They're talking about that abdomen. So no, the cortisol causes an increase of belly fat, as you call it, also indicates a deterioration of the reproductive system. It's mostly called a acute phase response. Excuse me, it's my medical foolishness. What happens in a stress reaction? The body's trying to get out of stress. It's not going to nourish itself. It's going to take all the energy it needs and go to getting out of the stress. And that causes accumulation of the fat. So the body goes into what we call a diet of stress. It stops the digestive system, stops the reproductive system and respiratory system. The digestive system will mostly be the liver, and the liver breaks down fat. But the body's going to shut down that system to use all the energy to get out of the stressful situation, even if the stress is spiritual, a relationship, drugs, bad air, taking a bath in polluted water. It does not matter. The body just says it's stress. And you think of stress as being an argument or something, and I'm saying the body says, no, this relationship you're in is stressful. No, this food is stressful. No, this polluted water you're taking a shower is stressful. No, this rubber that you're breathing in the air when you're driving, because that dust is coming off the tires, scraped off by the concrete, and that causes you to be inhaling rubber dust. And the body says this rubber is stressful, and the rubber is hydrocarbons, and hydrocarbons cause cancer. And then the body said, no, this water you're drinking is stressful because you purified it, but you did not take out the cocaine, the metformin, the diabetes medicine. The only way you can get that out of the water is through reverse osmosis. So you're drinking in all of these drugs, even though it says spring water, you're drinking in all these drugs. That water came from the clouds, and the clouds had mercury in it and aluminum in it, which you call chemtrails. So you constantly being contaminated, and that's a stress reaction, which causes the body not to break down fat, which is a substance that you call lye. The body makes lye. That's sulfuric acid and phosphoric acid. The body makes every chemical in a certain amount. The body makes bleach in a certain amount. You call it hydrochloric acid or something, social things you get. The body makes every damn chemical. That's what I'm trying to tell you. If you want to understand chemistry, study the body. Know thyself. And that was a long, gratuitous answer. I shouldn't have did all of that. So sorry for the person who wanted a short answer. A short answer would be just to close your damn mouth, because your mouth got you in this trouble. If you gain weight sitting on your behind, you should lose weight sitting on your behind. Don't rely on exercise. If you gain weight sitting on your behind, you can lose it sitting on your behind. Don't look at no miracle exercise given by the questionable fella, whatever it is, whatever his name. How do I transition from taking thyroid medication to address hypothyroidism? First, we have to know what the thyroid does. It's actually like a gear shift on a car. And the ship went into overdrive for some reason, because the body's trying to drive out of a bad situation, polluted relationship, polluted job, polluted children, whatever the badness is. And the body went into super gear, get out of it, and eventually it burns it out. If you just drive your car over fast gear all the time, you will burn it out. And so it's only going to drive slow. And this causes the person to go into hypothyroidism, inability to break down fat. That's all they're talking about. They're talking about that you can eat the same meal every day and gain weight. That's hypothyroidism. Someone can eat a turkey or a tire and never gain weight. That's hyperthyroidism. They just burn up energy before they can use it. This person went into hypothyroidism. They burned out the fast gear. Usually people just use anything that's associated with fat, losing weight. Any of that stuff will do. The problem is that people look for that disease on the label, and that's not what you're looking for. You're looking for the system that's being attacked, traumatized. Don't treat the name, treat the system. That is done or emulsified by the liver, so you know you have to treat the liver. The liver's trying to break down this fat, which you call socially soap. The liver actually makes soap. So anything that would deal with the liver would help, such as milk thistle, dandelion root, anything yellow actually, lemons, raw lemons. Dandelion has a yellow flower, so I'm just trying to tell you, the colors are there. Just look for the right colors. Just learn some color people are against. Can you speak on the use of acupuncture to help with the body, mind, and emotions? This was written in the European nomenclature. We say spirit, mind, body. Europeans say body, mind, spirit. We come from the spirit world, which manifested mind, which manifested the body. We say spirit, mind, body. White people say body, mind, spirit. But they control the body, known as a slave. So you gotta ask this question. So acupuncture is merely an African science. All the drawings of acupuncture in the walls of the pyramids. But of course, everyone has stolen everything from us, of course. And we taught the Chinese, do not think that just because they colored that they like you. If the Chinese had ruled this world, you'd be in worse shape. You're lucky to have these white people. The Chinese rule this thing. So racism, China is one. They're in Africa deeply. Gated communities, they bind up Africa. I'm just telling you the truth of the matter. Do not think these people open up these little restaurants, what they call them, take out the gold. You want this to take out the gold, what they call them, Chinese food? Oh yeah, Chinese carry out, yeah. Don't think those people like you at all. They don't. But you can be friendly with them. You can be friendly with American Indians if you find one that likes you. And never mention an African person. Never. They don't like you either. East Indians don't like you either. The Koreans in those shops don't like you either. And frankly, I don't like you either. But acupuncture is really using some metal, which used to be using wood. They used to use wood needles, like we found on rose. Ancient needles were made of wood. It was more alive. But now we use a metal. And all we do is just introduce this energy into this highway called meridian. And the body says, you don't belong here. You shouldn't be blocking this highway. So the body sends energy to get rid of that needle. And that energy could be on the liver meridian. I stick a needle in there and the body says, you shouldn't be here. So it sends all this energy to the liver. And that activates the healing, as you call it. And the organs associated with emotions, that's on the Kanaka jars and the pyramids. They classify each organ on the emotional level. Your heart and the liver and all that sort of that's in my book, holistic self-diagnosis. I don't want to be overdoing these answers. My husband is diagnosed with Parkinson's. Parkinson's is a man that tells you nothing. You got to treat the system. If the nervous system is damaged, get something for the nerves. Don't look for Parkinson, don't look for anything that treats the nerve. If it says memory, that's your nervous system. Get that. Don't look for this word Parkinson. Treat the system, not the name. So do that. And anything that's damaged, you need to repair it. And you go into the muscle head section to help restore. The bodybuilding people, they have stuff in there for injuries, the tendons, anything that treats that injury will take energy to your brain. Okay. Injury can be diabetes, mellitus, any injury, doesn't matter. You're looking for the name on the label. Don't look for the name, look what the system is working on. Not a program. What can we do to help them with deterioration of disease is having a treat the nervous system. Anything that deals with the nerves, a migraine headache, you'll see it on the label, you'll see memory enhancement, that's the nervous system. You got something to repair this, whatever it is, the nerve, the muscle, the bone, that's in the muscle building section. And they have stuff that repair guys against sports injuries. You have an injury to the nervous system, go in there and get something. Don't look for Parkinson injury repair, now look for something that treats injuries. Treat the system, not the name. How can I heal my kidney and liver after damaging them with painkillers and alcohol? Well, technically you can't repair any damn thing in the body. The body just just builds a whole new cell.
No.
It doesn't repair.
I didn't know what you said.
You can't repair an intro. You build a whole new intro.
Yeah, we're a whole new one.
What I'm saying is go to the bodybuilding stores, anything that heals a muscle, will heal a bone, will heal a nerve, will heal, and get something to heal. You want to heal a kidney? Go get something to heal. It's on the white thing. I'll deal with it because I'm a nice person. So you want something that heals. I'm just trying to say, this is not all of that feet. You just trying to. We were miseducated. Carter G. Wilson said we were miseducated. That's what I'm trying to say. We are miseducated. It shows up in the way we ask questions. It shows up in me trying to not answer your question by answering your question the wrong way to answer it the right way because I've been miseducated. So, as I mentioned before, the liver is usually yellow. Milk thistle, dandelion root, raw lemon juice, anything yellow will help you with the liver. I'm addressing the question. Anything that helps with it, with repairing a muscle or bone or tendon or torn ligament and body done weightlifting will repair the kidneys. It's not a difficult thing to do. Do not get a diuretic which will make you pee. Then you're wearing the hell out of the kidneys. So you don't want to get a diuretic because that's overworking a damaged organ. So don't get a diuretic. Diuretics irritate the system anyway, along with laxatives and irritants that cause abrasion of the skin, which is a tearing of the tissue. So you don't want to do that. I'm 35 years old, I guess that's personal, with an average blood pressure of 170. I've been taking garlic pills, and you should have some funky breath. I've been taking garlic pills for a year with no real change. You probably can change some friends with that. What else can I do? Well, actually, the most popular treatment for high blood pressure is a blood thinner. Blood thinners are curcumin, Corey powder, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'll work just fine. Turmeric, that'll work just fine. Anything with yellow in it will work just fine. Ginger root, horseradish, red radish, black radish, that will naturally thin the blood. But if you're going to the traditional route, you're probably taking warfarin, which is known as food-grade rat poison. The doctor, MD, will tell you you're taking rat poison. That's why you like cheese milk. So you don't want to go there. You really don't want to go there. But in the health food stores, it has on the label pressure low, pressure factors, pressure. It's going to have the word pressure on the label in the health food store. So you can go there and get something, but I suspect that you want to know what's exactly causing this blood pressure. You need to get my book because I define what 170 means, what 160 means. These numbers mean something. When you talk with numbers, we call it arithmetic. When you talk with numbers and letters, we call it mathematics. Both are languages, they are not sciences. So I'll tell you what these numbers mean. 175 means something totally different from 170. And I'll tell you what it means in layman's terms in the book called self-diagnosis. So that should do. What else can I do? Stop eating sugar. Because sugar is the leading cause of blood pressure problem because it dries out the arteries and shrinks the ability of the organs to get more blood, so it has to increase the pressure to increase the flow. So it's the sugar causing this thing. And things that turn into sugar quickly, white potatoes, which has nothing to do with Africa. We were raised on yams, white yams. I'm not talking about candy yams, I'm talking about white yams. It gets slimy when you cook it, like okra. We were raised on yams. Europeans were raised on potatoes. We were raised on millet. Europeans were raised on Flint wheat. That's where you get all this gluten-free and all that crap. That's the wrong wheat. We eat Flint wheat, which comes out of Europe. There are different varieties of wheat, like there are different varieties of apples, yellow, orange, you know what I'm talking about. You eat one type of wheat. That's what's causing the problem. So get away from the wheat. But you'll be all right. You'll be all right. Just say your prayers every day. Does isolation of vitamins, there's isolation of vitamins and minerals cause them to be drugs. Technically, yes. That's why we want plant-based vitamins and minerals. Now you're just eating dried alfalfa, dried dandelion roots. So you want plant-based vitamins and minerals. Now you're not taking a drug. How many meals should we eat a day, and do you prescribe fasting? Well, you're on a plantation, so you just do the best you can. Some people have night shifts. I can't say this stuff. You eat according to what you do. A chess player does not eat the same diet as a wrestler. You eat according to what you do. Birds do the same thing. They go to this tree tomorrow, and another tree said we're going in the woods, so they eat this tree today. I mean, they adjust their diet all the time according to what they're going to do that day. And you got to eat the diet according to what you do. So you may be a 1 meal a day, I don't know. 2 meals a day, I don't know. Just try to avoid the snacks, because that's going to keep the food in your stomach. You don't want to do that. Comes from the Europeans from snatching food, snack foods. You don't want to do that. Do you prescribe fasting? I used to do all that stuff. I fast 30 days, 40 days, 40 nights. When I was in college, I fasted on the week because I didn't have enough money to eat Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. I only ate on the weekends. I'm just telling you the truth. And you're in this environment, a bus goes by, that's about 3,000 milligrams of vitamin C. You're in a polluted environment. You don't have to take something to defend yourself against pollution. I wouldn't. That's like going naked, you know? You've got to take something to defend yourself from this environment that you're in. Protect your liver. Everything goes to the liver. Bad air, loud sounds go to the liver. Everything is turned into a liquid in the body. The loud sound, it goes to the liver. So that causes you out, it goes to the liver. You're stressing your liver. Do something for your liver. Talk about the 11th century. Everybody loved each other through the liver. Said, you make my liver quiver. That was sexy at one time. And everybody switched to the arm. The liver is a much more. The liver keeps you warm. It's the greatest source of heat inside your body, by the way. What can you tell us about a woman fasting during the month of Ramadan? It is not a fast technically. It's a religious ritual called a fast. A fast begins when the food is empty out of your digestive tract. That takes 3 days. So if you go on a fast today, the fast doesn't start for 3 days because food has to be completely out of the system. That's the fast. And you're drinking water. You don't wait till the sun goes down and eat half of a damn cow. The food has to be out of your digestive tract, which usually takes about 3 days. Then the fast begins. That's a medical fast. Now these religious fasts, I have nothing against them. You want to do that, go right ahead. There's a hotel named after this too, you know, Ramada. Listen to it. But it has health benefits from mom and baby and fast. And this environment is questionable. Because a fast means not being around negative energy too, you know. You can't be listening to that lift me up and lift me down, R. Kelly stuff. You gotta go on a real fast. That's emotional, that's spiritual. What are some key tips on obtaining a whole healthy body? I don't know. Not today. Just for those people in generic form of junk food, just stop eating salt, which is sodium chloride, which is salt and bleach. That includes the sea salt, Meridian salt, all that stuff you eat. That is bleach and salt. Don't eat it. Salt already in the apple, salt already in the orange, salt already in God put it there. Don't you play God with salt. And don't eat the sugar, the white sugar, the dyed brown sugar, this white sugar, the carbonado sugar, the raw sugar, the honey, the maple syrup, the molasses, the guava, all of those are concentrated sweeteners, all of them are the same thing. Yes, the guava is a concentrated sweetener. If you eat the fruit, fine. But most people eat the guava anyway, it's called tequila. That's what probably they're talking Questions? Well, to be fair, I like the way you spell joy anyway, so I'll just answer kind of spiritual spelling. Hieroglyphics, I assume. You just don't like right. The jawbone being around, you usually find round jawbones in vegetarian animals. You find narrow jawbones in usually meat eaters. So that's one thing. I was just talking about the teeth being crowded because of the lack of being breastfed for 3 to 5 years, which causes apnea and a lot of other stuff. It doesn't allow the body doesn't really complete itself. It's a process, you know, it's a process. The babies don't suck the milk. That's philosophy. And the babies don't. Sucking is a very challenging muscular project here. The baby, they bite the nipple. They do not suck the nipple. And they use a vacuum. Their tongue goes up top. It causes the vacuum. It causes the milk to be expressed. They should cool language like that's coming from the baby, moving their tongue back, and that causes the vacuum, using that click sound. So the baby is actually chewing the breast and using a vacuum system process. I didn't mean to go off on that, but these things, you know, these things, what a say. So all of that's been violated because we are taught not to breastfeed, because you won't be able to work 9 to 5. You know how to show 9 to 5, you can't work 9 to 5. It's a very chauvinistic world. Women have to cut every piece of hair off their body, off their vaginas, their arms, their legs. We don't play hair on the women. This comes out of Greek culture. We want the women to look like a boy. You know all the models look like boys. You know that. There's a reason for that. And I don't want to upset nobody.
You just want to tell the truth?
Well, I want to leave town without any problems. What are the foundations of habit change? Foundation of habit change. Well, you just can't change a habit. You need a habit. Habit is just a sequence of doing something. You just have to apply the habit to something else. And it's like how we call it removing the triggers. Whatever causes you to crave the sugar, we got to move the triggers. So I can't say sweetie and honey to you because that's triggering. You eat sugar and honey. So I got to remove that from my conversation. I got to remove the triggers. You associate your birthday with sugar. All these things trigger you to eat sugar. Happy occasion, sugar, birthday, Christmas, sugar, sugar, sugar. So we have to remove that connection. That's a social connection. That comes from the Europeans. They brought over their holidays. They brought over their worship the gargle god. That's the god on top of buildings. Gargle god. We invented gar. That's the vine gargle god. People are looking at me like they don't know. Look at here. You know Halloween, the pumpkin is a gargle god. And you're trying to get fruition for more that spirit to steal and take things. So you put an altar there with corn, you feed the god. That's a spiritual ritual of the Europeans. Second largest holiday in the European world, Halloween. They're very spiritual, these Europeans. You know? But I don't want to say nobody. Just go on with your pumpkin. So what I'm saying, you want to change the habit, you got to diffuse the things that cause you to crave the habit. You can't watch pornography movies because you know you may end up masturbating. You see? Masturbation is a big addiction in the black community. I don't want to bring out any skeletons, but a lot of y'all are some handy people. But it's a big addiction in our community. And we associate masturbation with sex, which has nothing to do with sex. It has something to do with I'm in control of my life. My wife has my life, my job has my life. But for 5 minutes, I'm in control. I don't want to upset anybody. I read a little about the brain having these components and how they have been aligned to create change. Most of the stuff you read about the brain is theory. I don't know where these components
Well, just, yeah.
Just do 1 or 2.
It's gonna like 1:15.
I don't have time, you know. Just the 1 or 2 this time will be.
Yeah, yeah, we still got the time. I'll give you the signal. You get it right.
All right, thank you. I just follow direction, you know. That makes my life easy. I don't have no responsibility. I'm a husband. I was raised on honeydews. Honeydew is. Well, there's suffering for circulation, atherosclerosis, his legs amputated for. I took off his other leg. That's mostly caused by sugar, which decreases blood flow to the legs. And anything that turns into sugar, like the white potatoes, white rice, white flour. I'm trying to be big myself. You don't give me these questions, and you're not misbehaving. So what you want to do is increase the circulation. You probably want to use some horse chestnut. Some butcher's broom will help the circulation, actually. Butcher, that's how we eat broom and horse chestnut. So increase the circulation. Those are 2 herbs. The problem is getting off the concentrated, which is white flour, white sugar, white rice, all that stuff. Please address where to go in the afterlife.
And what foods prepare you for that?
Yeah, well, a lot of people tell me to go to hell somewhere. I don't have a problem with it. I'm just saying, you have to have your vehicle in the right shape. You have to develop your body, mind, and spirit, as you would say. Because the body was something you secondhand use leftover Negroes. And you have to be in the right shape for this journey that you're going to make. And most ancient cultures talk about death in another way, and that's something we regret. We talk about it every day, even as a child. So we're preparing our bodies for the eternity that we are. But in this culture, it's like death is separate. So death is always a part of the conversation in ancient cultures, Chinese, Japanese, African, and all that sort of stuff. So what we got to do is reclaim our culture, actually. You do just fine. You don't have to have a religion to be African. Just follow the culture. The culture itself is a religion. But we think it's separate. The minute you're born, you're preparing to die. And we need to accept that journey. That's the bipolarness of this existence. With life comes death, with right comes wrong, with up comes down. You cannot have one without the other. It's just we're not acknowledging the other. Not acknowledging the bipolarness of our existence. You see, there are many forms of bipolarness. I can laugh bipolar. That's bipolar. Everything is bipolar. So we're not accepting that. It merges together and makes us one. We cannot be one without our spiritual connection to the one. That's why we have one brain and 5 sensors. So we have to develop what they call Jacob's ladder. We are climbing Jacob's ladder to be actualized. We call it psychology, self-actualization, I think is the term. Then it's hierarchy of needs and some crap we used to do. But that was used also in the science of patent a slave ship. So you have to get a professional packer. You can just get someone off the street trying to make some money. And they have professional packers. The Irish would call it the Green Bay Packers or something like that. So you have to know how to pack a slave ship, because that is a hierarchy of needs. You put the elderly lady down at the bottom. You put the menstruating ladies in the 3rd tier, and you put the pregnant ladies on top. So they abort the child falls down into the blood, and then they get these arguments up and down the tiers. Just knowing how to pack a slave ship, following the hierarchy of needs. How they did that is just by studying the toy masters, things that we're not thinking of that destroy our civilization. You see, you have to destroy the foundation of a civilization. The only way to do that is with a man and a woman. Break that up. There's a man and a woman, and they're the woman's sister, brother, and all of us get together. That's called a clan. 2 clans get together. That's called a tribe. 2 tribes get together. That's called a kingdom. 2 kingdoms get together. That's called an empire. The whole foundation of the empire is based on a man and a woman getting together, you see. And the Europeans studied that and said, hey, the problem is the black man and the black woman. That's some man this way, the woman this way, and we can destroy the empire. I'm just saying you can't build a house unless you have a foundation. I'm saying they got to the foundation and said the problem is they've got damn babysitters, you see. Because a house of child is babysitting an igloo or something like that across the lines and brings the culture to the igloo of the house. Is that your problem? Yeah. So the cultures couldn't pull apart. The babysitter, even if there was a war going on, people stopped. Yeah. No, you cannot destroy the babysitters because they're nurturing the culture. They're nurturing the future of the culture. Don't destroy them. So the Portuguese came and said, kill the damn babysitters. That's the problem. You see, we got to get rid of those toy masters because the toy masters were part of the culture. And the kid was hyperactive. The toy master said, bring the child and you come back tomorrow. He watched it after said, come back tomorrow. I had the toy to solve this problem. That's the toy masters. Said, get rid of them. They're toy makers. That's the problem. The little foundation thing you overlooking to build the culture, killing the babysitters, killing the toy masters. You follow me here?
Yes.
These people are very scientific. There's no difference between a playground and a military training. They'll go to the Marine barracks and you'll see.
Yes.
They're militarizing the children.
Yes.
You see? These people are very violent. There's 100 killings on TV every day. Then they say, oh, they're killing people. What's going on? You're training them to do that. That's what you call them computer games. They kill each other all day. Are you listening to me?
Yes.
I'm saying little things like that. You have to get rid of those computer games to get rid of the violence. I'm saying you have to get rid of the babysitters to get rid of the culture. It's not a difficult process there. And I didn't mean to go on all of that. I'm very sorry.
No, you didn't need that.
I'm going to make closure. It was very nice sharing this time with you, and I hope you benefited from it and understand that the lecture just to stimulate you to get the books so you can be empowered to take care of yourself. You know what I mean? Just get the books and then you got a reference. You don't need to listen to me. Just get the books and you have a source of information, not for you, because I'm not trying to reach you, I'm trying to reach the children. Unfortunately, you in the book. That's what it's always been about. And I'll quote Malcolm X. It ain't about the children, what the hell is it about? Malcolm X. What the hell is it about? It ain't about the children. That's what I'm saying. A couple weeks ago, I buried my brother. Don't go through it, all this stuff. He was a soldier. Vietnam and all that stuff. He killed a lot of people. And they gave him some battles. 100% disability. All those one of the things that white people do when you kill people. But the process is the funeral, the African funeral. These people carry the casket, you know what I'm talking about? Y'all seen that funeral? They like I'm strange. The people that carry the casket. Okay. In our culture, one of them would represent Ma'at. You see, one of them would represent truth. One of them would represent justice. Are you still with me?
Yes.
And that symbolizes a person, what they accomplished while they were alive, that they climbed Jacob's ladder. And that's the funerals for the children, is what I'm telling you. They have to do with the adults, and they were dressed up as Ma'at. You follow me? Dressed up as justice and a hawk head. It's a glorious occasion, but it was there for the children. It had nothing to do with the adults. To show that this is what that person achieved while they were alive. Righteousness, justice, balance, harmony, and that's why you had the pallbearers. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh, God. So I'm just trying to say, I'm not trying to insult you Negroes, black people. I'm just trying to say that we are about the children. That's all it's about. And that's what you are about. That's our future. That's our only existence. And that's why I'm talking to you. And that's why I talk all over the world. And that's why I'm 70 years old, trying to grow some wings to fly away from these Negroes. And I'm glad you participated in this journey with me. It's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. This will never happen.